Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel once again, which is all about architecture and engineering in Uganda. Yes, my name is Christian Edgar and I'm back with yet another exciting video. In today's video we are going to look at the finishing phase on a structure, and we'll look at a method that can help you save a lot when it comes to the finishing phase on your building. Yes, this method is usually used in the plastering phase. Yes, because so many people have been actually used to this method of finishing the concrete floor ceiling of a house using mortar. But then this method, you don't need to use you don't need mortar to finish the concrete floor ceiling of your house. Yes, so we are going to see how best you can save with this method compared to you using mortar. Now, when you're using mortar, when you decide to use mortar, of course, you need so many building materials such as like sand, plaster sand, and cement with water. Yes, but with this method, you don't need sand in it. You only need two building materials. That is cement and undercoat. So I would like you to stay tuned for more of this, because we are going to see how best someone can finish the concrete ceiling floor of his house with this method. Yes, of course, because you save a lot. Now, when a person decides to use the mortar way, yes, of finishing the floor ceiling, that person has to buy all those building materials. Then after buying those building materials, he mixes them, because of course, then he applies it on top of that floor ceiling of the house before he does anything. After removing all the props, he applies it on top of that floor ceiling. Yes, which is quite more expensive, because even during that application of during that plastering phase of mortar, you realize that there is a lot of wastage, because there is that mortar that splashes down and builders are not able to collect it and reuse it on site. Yes. Then after the plastering phase, yes, after the plastering phase with mortar, he still has to buy the rough sanding paper and then sand that wall. Yes, as is going into the skimming process, which I explained to you in my previous video of cost of painting a 5-bedroom mansion. Yes, then after that, he still has to do that skimming process. You should watch it. Yes, which requires you to sand that wall with the rough sanding paper. Then after sanding that wall, you apply undercoat, you apply a layer of paste, which includes white cement and white ink, which I explained to you. Yes, then you apply it on top. Then after again, you resand again using a smooth sanding paper, so that you prepare the wall for the final coat of paint. But with this method, this one, you don't need to go through all those processes, because when you decide to use this method, then you won't have to use mortar. Yes, because it is replaced. You won't have to sand the wall twice. Yes, so you don't need that rough sanding paper. You only need the smooth sanding paper. Yes, because with this method, you only need two building materials, that is cement and undercoat. Now, when you mix this cement and undercoat, it will produce a paste. Now, you apply 2 layers, by the way. You apply 2 layers, you apply 2 coats. The first coat has a concentration of cement more than undercoat. Yes, because with this coat, it is the one which you use to fill all those holes that are lagging on the ceiling. So wherever there are honeycombs, you fill all those holes using this paste. Yes, so the concentration of cement is more than the undercoat. Then after that, use a steel float, by the way, to apply this paste. Now after that, you apply a second coat. Now with this second coat, the concentration of undercoat is more than the concentration of cement. Yes, so you apply it so well with a steel float. Then when you're done, you only need to sand that wall using a smooth sanding paper, then apply undercoat. Then after applying undercoat, you apply the final coat of paint. Yes, so you realize that there are so many building materials that you have actually skipped. Yes, and also the materials that you use, the quantities of materials of cement and undercoat are not as many as you use while if you decide to go the mortar way. Yes, so we are going to see we are going to walk around and then see how best to use, because we used it on this particular building. Yes, and it is best used on floor ceilings that are concrete, on concrete floor ceilings. Yes, with ceilings that are attached to roofs, usually it doesn't apply best, because those ceilings are usually rough. They have a rough surface. The fact that there is that ceiling mortar casting that is done, yes, in the suspended lathing metal. So that makes the surface so rough. Now we are here, and you can see that here is our suspended slab. Yes, this is what I refer to when I talk about this concrete floor ceiling. Yes, this is our suspended slab. Now below the suspended slab, this is the ceiling. Yes, so you apply this after you removing all the props. You've removed all these props because these timber are the ones that I refer to as props. Yes, so after you removing this timber, this is what you have. This is the layer that you have. Yes, you can see this is the layer that you have after you removing your props. Now once you're done removing your props, so after you casting your suspended slab, all those things, yes, the carpentry work is done. You've cast your suspended slab. You now allow it to settle. You allow the suspended slab to settle for the 21 days. Yes, and then remove the props. Now after you removing the props, that timber that is beneath the suspended slab, you can now come and bring in this method of ours, yes, which will help you save a lot, because you realize that when you use mortar, you need so many building materials. Yes, because you have to buy like sand, plaster sand and cement and mix it with water, then plaster that surface. Yes, or then plaster that surface that is beneath the suspended slab, which is called the ceiling surface. Yes, then after that, you need to sand that surface with a rough sanding paper. Then after sanding the surface, then still you need to do the skimming process that prepares the wall for painting. Yes, the skimming process is during the painting phase. Yes, so you see that you go through a lot of processes. Yes, yeah, I talked about the skimming process in my previous video of cost of painting a 5-bedroom mansion. But with this method, yes, you only need to buy undercoat and then cement also. Now after you've removed your props, yes, beneath the suspended slab, you apply this paste layer that you have mixed, you apply it beneath the suspended slab, which is called the ceiling. Yes, so you apply 2 coats. The first coat, yes, the first coat of mixture, yes, you mix it with a concentration of cement more than undercoat. Yes, because it is what is used to fill in all those holes, yes, between the mark spans, all those honeycombs that are lagging on top of that suspended, below the suspended slab. Yes, then the second coat has a concentration of undercoat more than cement. Yes, cement acts as a binding agent of this acts as a binder. Yes. So once you're done while using this method, you only need to sand. You only need to sand. You only need to sand the surface of your ceiling, yes, with a smooth sanding paper, then apply the final coat of paint. Yes, so you realize that you have actually saved a lot, because there are so many building materials that you have involved. Yes, during the skimming process, where you buy white cement, whiting, white cement, all the things that I explained to you. Yes, you realize that you haven't done that process. Yes, you blended that process, yes, all together in the paste. Yes, so you realize that you have saved a lot when you use this method. So if you look at this ceiling, if you look at this suspended slab, yes, you can see that there are some holes, yes, some spaces, yes, in between the mark spans where the concrete didn't concentrate so well. So that is why that I said that the first mixture has to have a ratio of cement more than the ratio of undercoat, because it is what is applied in those holes that you can see below this suspended slab. So this is the product of what comes out of whatever that you've done if you decide to use that method. So you can see that this ceiling is already finished, but if I bring someone who has not seen the process that we did, he may not be able to tell that we actually didn't plaster this ceiling using mortar. Yes, so you can see that the surface is already smooth. Yes, what needs to be done here now is to do the sanding process, and then after doing the sanding process, we can apply undercoat layer, then apply the final layer of paint. Yes, so that is how simple it is. That is how simple it is. Now I haven't yet tried this method on walls, but I believe it can work. But if you're deciding to use this method on walls, it's best that you have neat block work. Yes, you need to have neat block work. So you need to have neat block work, blocks that are well plumbed to simplify your work. Okay, thank you very much for watching. So you can see this is all the finished part.